English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Joy. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm joined by the amazing Emily today.
Hey there! We're so glad you decided to tune in to our podcast. Today, we've got a super important topic to talk about: living with purpose and how to avoid wasting time.
That's right, Emily. I want to kick things off by asking you all a question. Have you ever felt like time is just slipping away and you haven't accomplished anything important? I'm sure all of us have had those moments when the whole day goes by and we realize we didn't really achieve anything meaningful.
I can totally relate, Chris. There was a time in my life when I felt like that. I would get to the end of the day and feel like I had just wasted it. Time would pass so quickly, and I didn't seem to be getting any closer to my goals. But then one day, I decided to stop and think about what I actually wanted out of life and how I could make the most of my time.
So, Emily, what did you do to change that? Well, I had a similar experience myself. I used to feel like I was always busy, but never really making any progress. I realized that it wasn't about doing more things. It was about doing the right things. That realization helped me learn how to manage my time better and achieve the goals that mattered most.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to explore how to live with purpose and make sure that every day counts, so you don't end up wasting your time on things that don't really matter.
So, let's get started. By the end of this episode, you'll not only have practical steps to live with purpose, but also gain new vocabulary that will help you communicate about these important topics in English. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with understanding what purpose really means. In simple terms, purpose is the reason behind why you do something, the goal that drives your actions. It's what gives your life meaning and direction. Without purpose, life can feel like a series of random events, and time can seem to slip away without any real accomplishment.
That's a great point, Chris. Having purpose is like having a compass. It guides you toward what truly matters. Think of it as the why behind everything you do. So, why is it so important to find your purpose? Well, purpose helps us prioritize. When you know what's most important to you, everything else starts to fall into place. You can stop wasting time on things that don't really contribute to your happiness or goals.
Exactly. When I first started learning English, I didn't have a clear purpose. I would study, but it felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. But then I realized that my purpose for learning English wasn't just about passing tests. It was about being able to connect with people, experience different cultures, and open up more opportunities in life. Once I found that, my whole approach changed. It gave me a deeper motivation and made studying feel more meaningful.
I can totally relate to that. For me, living with purpose meant learning to focus on what truly matters. Before, I would get easily distracted, and I felt like I was constantly wasting time on things that didn't align with my goals. But once I made the decision to focus on my personal growth and learning, I was able to manage my time better and concentrate on things that would bring me closer to my dreams. And let me tell you, the results have been amazing.
Now, let's talk about time-wasting habits, the little things that prevent us from living with purpose. We all have them, right? One common habit is procrastination. It's easy to put off tasks, especially when they feel overwhelming. You tell yourself, I'll do it later, but then later never comes.
Yes, procrastination is a killer. And don't even get me started on the way we get stuck on our phones. Scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or even playing games can consume so much time without adding any value to our lives. It's like we're just filling the empty space. But at the end of the day, we haven't really accomplished anything.
That's so true. And it's not just about time spent on your phone. Some of us spend too much time on activities that just don't move us forward. Watching TV shows for hours, gossiping, or engaging in pointless conversations, it all adds up. And we don't realize that this time could be better spent on things that align with our goals and purpose.
The first step in avoiding these time-wasting habits is to be aware. Recognize when you're falling into these traps. If you catch yourself procrastinating or scrolling endlessly on your phone, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this really helping me achieve my goals? Is this the best use of my time right now?
Exactly. The next step is to replace these habits with more purposeful activities. Instead of spending an hour on social media, try reading a book or listening to a podcast that will help you grow. Instead of watching another episode of a show, spend 30 minutes learning something new or practicing your English. Small changes like this can make a huge difference over time. So why does living with purpose really help improve our lives? Well, when we focus on what matters, we start to feel more fulfilled. Instead of going through the motions and feeling like time is slipping away, we begin to see our progress. Every small step we take towards our goals gives us a sense of satisfaction. It makes us feel like we're actually moving forward.
I completely agree. I've experienced this myself with learning English. At one point, I was just going through the motions, studying here and there, but without a clear purpose. Then, when I really started focusing on my why I wanted to improve my English for my career and personal life, that's when everything changed. Suddenly, every study session had meaning, and I felt excited to learn. I stopped wasting time on things that didn't bring me closer to my goals.
That's a perfect example, Emily. And it's not just about learning English either. Whether it's your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, when you live with purpose, everything becomes more meaningful. You don't waste time on things that don't align with your values. Instead, you make time for the things that help you grow and succeed. And the best part is, when you start living with purpose, you not only feel more fulfilled, but you also start to see results. You'll feel more confident, motivated, and you'll start making better choices with your time. It's all about taking small steps each day that move you toward your big goals. So, what's the takeaway from this? Start by identifying your purpose. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's the goal I'm working toward? Once you know your purpose, everything else will start to fall into place. Time won't feel wasted anymore. It will feel valuable, meaningful, and directed.
Exactly. And once you start focusing on what really matters, you'll notice how much more fulfilled you feel. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Small steps each day will add up to big changes over time.
That's right, Emily. Now let's move on to something equally important: vocabulary. Learning the right words helps you express your ideas clearly and makes your communication more powerful. In this part, we're going to look at some keywords that relate to living with purpose and how they can improve both your life and your English. Let's dive into these words one by one. Let's start with purpose. The word purpose refers to the reason why something is done or the goal behind an action. It's the driving force that gives direction to our lives, helping us to focus our energy on what really matters.
In life and in learning, having a clear purpose is essential. Without it, you can easily get distracted by unimportant things. Let's look at an example. Finding your purpose in life can bring you great satisfaction and clarity.
When you know your purpose, it's easier to make decisions and stay motivated. A clear purpose also helps you prioritize, whether it's in your studies, career, or personal life.
Synonyms for purpose include goal, objective, aim, and intention. Here are some examples of how to use these in sentences. Goal. My goal is to become fluent in English. Objective. The objective of my project is to improve my public speaking skills. Intention. Her intention is to start a new business next year.
Next, we have fulfillment. Fulfillment is the feeling of satisfaction and happiness that comes when you achieve your goals or live in alignment with your values.
It's the reward you get when your efforts pay off. Whether it's finishing a project, achieving a personal goal, or simply living with purpose, fulfillment gives you a deep sense of contentment. Example: achieving your goals brings a sense of fulfillment that no material possession can provide.
I can personally say that the feeling of fulfillment is far more meaningful than any material possession. It's an emotional reward for hard work and dedication. Emily. Some synonyms for fulfillment include satisfaction, contentment, and accomplishment. Let's see how they can be used in sentences.
Satisfaction. He felt a great sense of satisfaction after finishing the project. Contentment. She found contentment in spending time with her family. Accomplishment. Graduating from college was a major accomplishment for him.
The next word is focus. Focus refers to the ability to concentrate on a particular task or goal without getting distracted. It's essential when you're trying to achieve anything meaningful.
In today's world, staying focused is more difficult than ever because of all the distractions. But once you learn to focus, you can accomplish so much more. Here's an example. Example. To succeed, you need to focus on what really matters and not get distracted by unnecessary things.
That's the key. Focus allows you to direct your energy toward one thing at a time, which makes your work more effective. If you don't focus, you'll find yourself jumping from one task to another without making real progress.
Synonyms for focus include attention, concentration, and intent. Let's look at some examples. Attention. She gave her full attention to the task at hand. Concentration. Good concentration is essential for passing exams. Intent. His intent was to finish the book by the end of the week.
Next up, we have discipline. Discipline refers to the ability to control your actions, emotions, and behaviors to achieve your long-term goals. It's about making the right choices, even when it's difficult.
Discipline is one of the most important qualities for anyone who wants to succeed, especially when it comes to learning English or achieving personal growth. Here's an example. Example. Building discipline helps you stay on track with your long-term goals, even when things get tough.
It's not always easy to stay disciplined, but when you do, you build habits that support your goals. Whether it's waking up early to study or sticking to a healthy routine, discipline keeps you moving forward.
Some synonyms for discipline are self-control, restraint, and order. Let's see how they can be used. Self-control. She showed great self-control by not giving in to temptation. Restraint. He exercised restraint by not spending too much money. Order. Maintaining order in your life helps you stay organized and focused.
Finally, we have meaningful. Meaningful refers to something that has real value or importance. It's not just about doing things. It's about doing things that have a positive impact and contribute to your purpose. Living a meaningful life means choosing activities that align with your values and bring joy and fulfillment. Here's an example. Example. Spending time with family and friends is a meaningful activity that nurtures both your happiness and relationships. When we live with meaning, we make choices that add value to our lives and the lives of others. It's about choosing what truly matters.
Synonyms for meaningful include significant, valuable, and important. Here are some examples of these words in sentences. Significant. The most significant decision of my life was to start learning English. Valuable. Time with loved ones is the most valuable gift. Important. It's important to prioritize your health and well-being.
Now that we've gone over some of the key vocabulary, let's break them down and talk about how you can use these words in everyday life.
It's not just about memorizing words, it's about using them in real contexts. When you focus on learning vocabulary in context, you'll remember the words better and be able to use them naturally.
Let's take the word purpose, for example. If you're working on a project or a goal, think about what the purpose is behind that task. Why are you doing it? What do you hope to achieve? When you connect the word purpose to your real-life goals, it becomes much easier to use.
Exactly. And when you talk about discipline, you can think about the habits you want to build, whether it's practicing English every day or sticking to a schedule. Discipline is what makes those habits stick.
The key takeaway here is to live with purpose. Understand what you're working toward and why it matters. When you do, you'll feel more fulfilled, stay focused, and have the discipline to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges.
So, take a moment today to think about your purpose and how you can make every action meaningful. And don't forget, as we always say, small steps lead to big changes. First things first, let's talk about the steps you need to take to start living with purpose. The first step is to identify your goals. What is it that you want to achieve in your life? Whether it's related to your career, health, relationships, or even your English learning, you need to have a clear understanding of what you're working toward.
Exactly. Having a clear goal is like having a roadmap. Without it, you'll be lost, wandering around with no real direction. Once you've identified your goals, the next step is to make small plans. Break your big goal down into smaller, manageable steps. This makes it less overwhelming and helps you take action every day.
And this is key: consistency. Once you have a goal and a plan, the next step is to be consistent. It's easy to get excited at first, but staying consistent over time is what really brings results. Whether it's practicing English,
That's right. If you do something small but consistently every day, you'll see huge results over time. It's like saving a small amount of money every day. The power of compound interest works the same way with habits.
now, let's talk about how to apply this method to learning English. As we mentioned earlier, purpose is everything. When you have a clear reason to improve your English skills, it becomes much easier to stay motivated.
Exactly. The first step is to define your purpose for learning English. Why do you want to improve? Is it for travel, career advancement, or simply to connect with people from different cultures? Once you know your why, it will help you stay focused and motivated.
The next step is creating a daily plan. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the idea of becoming fluent, focus on making English a part of your daily routine. You don't need to spend hours every day. Just a few minutes of consistent practice can lead to big improvements.
A great way to do this is to listen to English podcasts, just like this one. Listening to podcasts every day, even for just 15 minutes, will help you improve your listening skills and get used to the flow of the language.
Another great method is reading English books. Start with something simple and enjoyable, like a short story or a book about a topic you love. Even if you don't understand every word, the important thing is that you're exposing yourself to the language and building your vocabulary.
And don't forget about speaking. One of the most important ways to improve your English is to speak it regularly. Try finding a language partner, a friend, or even a teacher to practice with. If you can, practice speaking every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. This will help you gain confidence and fluency.
Now that we've talked about how to apply purpose to learning English, let's discuss how to improve your discipline and self-motivation. One of the biggest challenges for learners is staying consistent, especially when things get tough or progress feels slow.
Right, Emily. A lot of people struggle with motivation, especially in the beginning. But the truth is, motivation follows action. The more you take action, the more motivated you'll feel. It's all about building momentum. A simple daily routine is essential for keeping up the momentum. You don't need to do everything at once. Just focus on one or two tasks every day. For example, spend 10 minutes listening to a podcast, 10 minutes reading a book, and 5 minutes practicing speaking. It's all about building those small habits that add up.
That's a great point. And one way to stay disciplined is to track your progress. Whether it's keeping a journal, using an app, or marking off days on a calendar, tracking your progress helps you see how far you've come, which keeps you motivated. And remember, it's okay to celebrate small victories. Learning English is a long journey, but every step counts. When you learn a new word or have a conversation in English, take a moment to appreciate your progress. This helps you stay positive and motivated.
So, how do you start? Let's create a simple plan that you can follow every day to improve your English skills. First, set a specific goal. Maybe you want to improve your speaking skills, or maybe you want to expand your vocabulary. Be clear about what you want to achieve.
Next, break that goal down into small, manageable steps. For example, if your goal is to improve your speaking, start by speaking for 5 minutes every day, focusing on one topic. If your goal is vocabulary, choose 3 to 5 new words each day and make sure to use them in sentences.
Then schedule time every day for your English practice. Consistency is key. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day, make it a habit. Don't wait for motivation to strike, just do it.
Finally, make sure you're staying accountable. Tell someone about your goal or join a community where you can share your progress. Being part of a group can help keep you motivated, and it's a great way to practice your English with others.
So there you have it. Living with purpose isn't just about having goals, it's about taking consistent action every day. With a clear purpose, a solid plan, and daily practice, you'll see amazing improvements in both your life and your English.
Now, it's time for our vocabulary quiz. Let's test how well you've understood and remembered the words we've discussed today. These words are really important for living with purpose, and I want you to think about how they apply to your life. Let's see how much you've learned.
I'll ask you some questions, and I want you to pause the podcast and think about your answers. Try to use vocabulary words in real-life sentences. Ready? Let's go. Let's start with a big question. What does purpose mean in your life? Can you give an example?
Think about your own purpose. Why do you want to improve your English? Is it for personal growth, career opportunities, or maybe something else?
Try to express your purpose clearly and give a real-life example. For instance, my purpose in learning English is to be able to communicate with people from different cultures and travel the world. It gives me the motivation to practice every day.
Now let's reflect a bit. What is something meaningful you did recently?
This is your moment to think about a recent action or event that truly mattered to you. What made it meaningful? How did it affect you? Or maybe someone else? Here's an example to guide you. Spending time with my family during the holidays was meaningful to me because it strengthened our bond and brought us closer together. Next up, why is discipline important for achieving long-term goals?
Think about a goal you've set, maybe something for your career, your personal life, or your English journey. Why does discipline help you stay on track? Example answer. Discipline is important because it helps me stay committed to my goals even when it's difficult. For example, practicing English every day, even when I feel tired, helps me make steady progress.
Here's another one to consider. Can you focus better when you have a clear purpose? Why? Take a second to reflect. How does knowing exactly what you're working toward affect your ability to concentrate and stay motivated? Here's a helpful example. Yes, I can focus better when I have a clear purpose. When I know my goal, like improving my English for a job opportunity, I stay motivated and don't get distracted by other things. And finally, can you think of a time when you felt a deep sense of fulfillment? What did you achieve? And how did it make you feel?
Think back to a moment when you felt proud, satisfied, and deeply rewarded by your own effort. Here's one example. I felt a sense of fulfillment when I completed my first marathon. The hard work and training paid off, and crossing the finish line was incredibly rewarding. Now it's your turn. Take a moment, think honestly, and write down your own answers. You might be surprised by how much insight you already have. Great job, everyone! Now, if you're feeling confident with your answers, that's amazing. But if not, don't worry. This is all part of the learning process. Exactly! The key to mastering new vocabulary is practicing it in real-life situations. Try to use these words in your daily conversations, write them down, or even create stories using the new vocabulary. Well, we've come to the end of another episode of Learn English with Joy. It's been such a great journey today, talking about living with purpose and how important it is to take small steps every day.
Exactly, Emily. And for all of you listening, remember, progress every day is so much more important than perfection. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Those are the moments that help you grow. The key is to keep moving forward, one step at a time.
You know, there's a famous quote from Nelson Mandela that really speaks to this. It always seems impossible until it's done. Sometimes learning English can feel overwhelming, but every little effort you put in brings you closer to your goal.
That's so true. So we want to encourage you today to take just one small action. Even if it's just saying one sentence in English today, that's a victory. Don't worry about being perfect. Just speak and enjoy the process of learning. Exactly, Chris. Speak out loud, practice a sentence you've learned today, or even say something simple like, I am improving every day. The important thing is that you keep trying, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
So, as we wrap up today's episode, here's your challenge. Say something in English, no matter how simple it is. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Remember, each word you speak is a step toward your goal. And we're here to cheer you on every step of the way. Keep learning, stay motivated, and remember, you've got this.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode of Learn English with Joy. Until then, take care and keep speaking English.
Bye for now, and remember, every day counts.